Wow, was it really 3 years ago? Holy cow! It's an anniversary show. We started it all right here, talking about my Navidad display. Now it's time to go to the kitchen. Hello again, everybody. This is Migueltio, the North Country Latino, and if I look like I'm festive tonight, it's because I am. First of all, it's New Year's Eve. Second of all, it is the 3rd anniversary of the Migueltio, the North Country Latino show, and I want to thank all of you who have been watching, who have been supporting all these years up to this point, and hopefully will continue to do so. And anybody new who hasn't seen our show yet, I hope you enjoy and get on board and go back and watch some of the old episodes. You can certainly do so on the channel. Anyways, we're going to celebrate tonight by making a beautiful little tapa that a good friend of mine by the name of Daisy Martinez made in her Cocina Latina para las Fiestas and holiday edition of booklets. And a big shout out to El Diario newspaper, and a big shout out to, of course, Fairway Markets, who put out the 6 volumes that you got for your holidays. This is an awesome recipe. Out of these, okay, got all my booklets. These are called Mini Pastelones. And they're like a little tapa. They're kind of like a tiny little beef pie, if you will. And we're going to make those up tonight to celebrate our 3rd anniversary. You can have them for Año Nuevo, or as she put them in her one, for Dia de los Reyes. So they're a great little celebratory feast to have with everything else you're going to have. Anyways, we're going to start with our ingredients here. Going to take 3 tablespoons of achiote oil I've got on my grill already here. We're going to warm that up. Now to that I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of alcaparado. And you can use any kind of jarred alcaparado, Goya, any of the other brands out there. Finely chop it. Start working that in with the oil. And then you're going to take both some cinnamon and cumin, very prominent around the holidays. About a 1/2 teaspoon of the cumin. Put it in with everything. There you go. Cumin adds so much flavor to so many foods. Even if you're not making something particularly Latino, cumin will really spice it up. And cinnamon. What you're basically making here is kind of like a mini picadillo. And with the cinnamon, about 3/4 of a teaspoon. It's going to be 1/4. Not 3/4. That'd be way too much. 1/4 teaspoon of the cinnamon. There we go. Once things start to heat up, start stirring it all around. Blend it in. Love the aroma when this is all mixed together. Turn your heat down if things are getting a little too smoky. Once that's all well blended together, I'm going to add about 1 pound of ground pork to it. Now I've already pre-browned my ground pork to get the fat out. I know some of you say, oh, you should have the fat in there and everything. That's the way I cook. But it will make a nice blend regardless. Grind that pork around. Like I said, these little buggers, these little pastelones will add to your full feast. They're a great tapa. You can bring them to any gathering, but they're best around the holidays, of course, when we're making things like these more often, you know? Little foods to have for this gathering, that gathering, this family house, that family house. Now to this pork and the whole mix, you're going to add about a tablespoon of tomato paste. So take a nice big heaping tablespoon, throw it in, and then guess what? What else goes into picadillo? But a lot of the picadillos I made have raisins in it, so is this one. So we're going to make about a cup of raisins, a handful or so. Good handful of raisins, about a half cup. These bulk bags of raisins are awesome. You can get a place for PJ's or Sam's Club or whatever. And there you go. You're going to blend that all together. Get that tomato paste in there. Kind of thickens it a little bit. The raisins go with the cinnamon and a little sweetness to it. So it's almost like a little Mexican flavor in a way. And yes, I have preheated my oven to 350. So that was the little timer letting me know that it's up to 350. Well, we started this program during the holidays, and at this time, I do hope everyone had a wonderful holiday this year. It was during the holidays 3 years ago that the show got going. The first show was actually not a food show. Like I said, it was talking about my Christmas display for Navidad. I did it in Spanish, talking about the different things I have there. And then the first episodes were making our repas. And at that time, I did it in 2 parts. And we've kind of worked on things ever since. So I hope we've gotten better over the years. If anybody has anything out there they want to see improved or anything like that, then certainly give me feedback. But, you know, it's kind of like what the late Dick Clark said. You know, we made a lot of mistakes, but we got in there and took off our shirt sleeves and worked hard. You know, I'm always trying to make sure I don't overdo things or neglect something when I do a recipe and do a show. But that gets it all mixed together. So next on the list, we're going to turn off our heat. But before doing so, gotta have one more thing. Some sofrito. Mix that all in. This is about a good cup of sofrito. I probably should have added it in earlier, but it'll be fine. That's the neat thing about making any kind of picadillo, is no matter what order you put your mixture together in, it comes out great. That's mixed in nice and thick. It's going to make for a beautiful tapa. There we go. Now we are mixed. Now we can turn the heat off. And in turning that heat off, that brings us over to the pan. Move some of these things out of the way. Because in this pan, this is an English muffin pan, believe it or not, you've got some sweet plantains into each little muffin place. Because what you're going to do is make these into little tapas. They're kind of like little beef pies. Except the bottom, instead of being crust of any kind, or discos, or things like that, you're using plantains. plantains maduros. And you can get these in your freezer section. It's got a good Latino section at any store. Or actually, a lot of places sell them online, and you can get stuff delivered to your house. It's amazing. Even Goy does it now, so. Anyways, make sure you put down a little spray of fat-free, non-cookie-free before you put the plantain in, and then nice little layer of plantains on the bottom of each one. Then you get yourself a little tablespoon, and you're going to fill each cup with some of the meat. So it's nice and evenly distributed. Kind of reminds me of making the pay de pescado de crema they make on Viernes Santo. But instead I use discos and things for that, like little pies. But these are going to be different. They're going to be like banana crust. I've made a banana pie before with plantains that's had plantain and cheese. So I can attest, and I haven't done it on the show, I don't believe. It's been a while since I've done that one. I should do that one. That it's basically a pastel de plantain y queso. So I can attest that plantains do make a nice layer for a pie of any kind. So we just fill up these little muffin cups on the bottom. And of course I have some extra here, so I'm going to distribute it around just to make sure we have enough in each cup. I think I was sparing on the first one, so I'm going to go back to the early ones. Because you know how it is, you start with something where it's multiple, and you don't want to run out by the time you get to the last one. Be it muffin cups, be it anything like enchilada shells or taco shells, where you're baking something with like 12 of them at a time and you have to fill them all. You don't want to like overstuff like the first 6 and then have 6 of them and barely have anything in them. So it's better to maybe start a little sparingly and then you can go back. That's what I'm doing here. Alright, so now we're basically going to take the equivalent of 4 eggs. You can use 4 eggs or you can use 4 corny eggs like I usually do. And you're going to just sparingly, this time really sparingly, pour a little egg over the top of each cup. And let it seep down in. Try not to overdo it like I just did. This will make it solid. Let it seep in. I do hope everybody out there has a beautiful new year. I hope you've had a great time thinking about what you're going to make out of this year and can make it the best for you, your families, people around you. Now, like I said, if you went low again, you can go back. So that way you've got it coming right up the cup and don't have it dribbling over the side. Yeah, I think we're pretty full here. This one, there we go. Beautiful. And now, just shake a little bit of it over the top. Not much, you don't need a lot of it over. Put a little salt and pepper And what is adobo? Salt and pepper. So just put a little bit over. Just give it a pinch, you know. And guess what it's time for? The oven! That preheated oven that was sitting there waiting patiently while you were doing all this on the stove is now going to take these and bake them up beautifully. So in they go at 354, a grand total of 20 minutes, 20 minutos. So set your timer accordingly. And let's see what happens when they're done. And it's time to take them out. After a good 20 minutes, they should look awesome. Let's see what we got here. Oh, they look wonderful. Look at these. I'm turning up the oven for the rest of my feast that I just put in. But come on over and see. Beautiful, aren't they? Holy cow. If that isn't something to bring to any big feast, I don't know what is. So if this isn't a feast fit for a family, we got the picaditos, we got some chicken taquitos, we got some shrimp, we got some wings, we got some stuffed cheese sticks and chicken nuggets. So we got quite a feast here, folks. And I just want to thank everybody for 3 years of supporting the Migueltio Latino, that's me, and the show, and enjoying all the things that we make. Thank you to everybody for our 3rd anniversary. Thanks to Daisy Martinez, Fairway Markets, and El Diario newspaper for having the awesome recipe for our feast tonight. Don't those look great? Oh, they are going to be good. They're like little pies. And I want everybody to have a wonderful rest of the holiday season. I want everybody to have a wonderful New Year. So these are our Mini Pastelones. And this is the rest of our feast. I hope you're feasting beautifully out there. Be it for Año Nuevo, be it for Reyes Magos, be it for Candelaria and the 2nd of February. Enjoy the year of feasting. This is Migueltio, the Latino saying, hey, enjoy yourself. Mwah.